In the beginning of the movie, we see an accountant holding many binoculars. At the same time, a police officer arrives in a police car. He asserts that life's events are completely random, so relax and enjoy the movie without battling your mind. The police officer leaves while saying this. We know how to see the movie with the binocular. After it, we see many people there. They all were given the binoculars by the accountant. They all seeing somewhere with binoculars. After it, the scene shifts to a junkyard. An ordinary tire is shown, but suddenly the tire moves. It seems it is alive. It moves and removes dirt from it. It starts rolling. It was moving forward while enjoying. Suddenly, a plastic bottle comes in front of it. It again rolls while crushing it. But this time, a glass bottle comes in front of it. It sees I will be punctured if I will move from it. The tire here makes use of its power. It starts vibrating speedily due to it. The bottle breaks. It is clear that it is not an ordinary tire. On another side, the people were seeing the tire. It was looking like a circus. The tire again uses its power. A small tin can comes in front of it. It breaks it from between. After it, it leaves while rolling. The tire then moves under a tree at night and sleeps to rest. The tire resumes its journey the next day. The accountant comes to them and steals all of their money and valuables. He then wakes them up because they were sleeping. They were strange people, it doesn't matter for them. They start doing their work again. They start seeing the tire through binoculars. The tire goes to a place where the water was because it feels thirst. It gets soaked in the water. Meanwhile, a small rabbit comes in front of the tire. The tire doesn't feel good. It kills the rabbit by exploding it while using its power. The rabbit was blown to bits. Then it moves on a highway. The tire feels hungry. The tire searches for its next prey. This time, it wants to make a human its prey. Meanwhile, a girl is shown going in her car. The girl drove in a red car. When he sees the girl, the tire begins to vibrate rapidly. Due to it, the engine of the girl's car was damaged. She stops there and the tire moves towards her. This time, the plan of the tire wasn't successful because a man was coming from behind with a small truck. The truck collides with the tire, causing the tire to lose control of the girl's car. Because of it, the car starts and the girl drives away. The tire fell at a far distance due to collapsing with the truck. It was injured and also furious. Meanwhile, it sees a crow and it takes out its anger on the crow. It explodes and kills it. After it, the man in the truck was shown who hit the tire. He was pouring petrol in his car while stopping at a petrol pump. Then it is shown the tire also comes there. It maybe comes there to take revenge for its knock. The man ignores the tire after seeing it. Because the tire was enraged, it began to vibrate upon seeing him. While seeing, the man's head also explodes. He dies because of it. That tire is so clever that it can take its revenge. It was moving due to which it collapsed. She was the girl in the red car. Seeing her car outside the hotel, it thinks she will be here. It goes towards her room and starts seeing her while opening the door. It was also visible to the people with binoculars. It means they will notice the tire while driving or doing anything else. After it, the night appears, and the girl says to her mother that she will stay in a hotel tonight. That's why the tire also stays in the hotel. It starts watching TV. In the morning, the tire was still watching the TV. It means tire watched TV the whole night. We are shown the people who were watching the tire for many days. They were hungry and haven't eaten anything. The accountant is shown who is ready to go to his work. An ostrich is shown in his room. After it, the accountant receives a call and says, "Don't worry, we will make everything fine. It means we will do your work." He goes to them on a bicycle and gives them the ostrich to eat. They were strange and hungry. They eat the ostrich-like animals in an unusual way. A man in a wheelchair doesn't eat the ostrich. He was seeing the tire with binocular. The scene of the hotel is shown where the tire was. The room attendant comes outside the room and knocks. None opens the door, so she goes inside. When she checks, she finds many marks of tire on the bed. She also hears a voice that sounds like someone is taking a shower, but the door was open. She thinks maybe the room owner is taking shower. "Sir, may I come later if you are busy?" she asks from outside. There was no response. She sees the tire is taking shower when she checks. She throws the tire out in anger. The room was dirty because of it. The tire feels insulted because of it. It comes in anger and goes to the room again. It explodes the room attendant and kills her. It again watches TV. The son of the hotel owner sees it while going into the room. He informs his father about it. There is a tire, and it is alive and moving. His father doesn't believe him and asks him to leave. The binocular people were shown, and their situation had deteriorated. Their stomachs were aching. The man in the wheelchair says that you are given poison. It implies that the ostrich they ate contained poison. They die there, except for the old man in the wheelchair because he hasn't eaten the ostrich. We see police outside the hotel. They were investigating the death of the room attendant. The police officer is shown. He informs his companions that there are numerous murders in the city. We must apprehend the murderer as soon as possible. Suddenly, his car's alarm rings. While hearing it, he says, "Just stop this game here. It's enough. The people who were seeing us are killed. It was a drama or a trick." The police officer's companions are taken aback when they hear it, that the girl died, and he believes it was all a ruse. He asks his companions to fire him a bullet and nothing will happen to him. They fire at him, but it didn't affect him, because all the bullets were fake. His accountant comes to him. He says, "Sir, an old man in a wheelchair didn't eat the poisonous ostrich. That's why he is alive." The police officer leaves while making an excuse and comes to the hotel owner. He starts talking to him. The tyre comes and kills the owner while exploding the owner's head. It happened in front of the police officer. He understands this is a reality, not a game or trick. He also sees the tyre there. He goes to his companions while running. He claims the murderer is none other than a tyre. It appears to be a regular tyre, but it possesses extraordinary abilities. We have to catch it soon, otherwise it will kill many people. Meanwhile, the son of the hotel's owner comes there. He tells them the tyre's direction. They go the way while believing that boy. On another side, the accountant goes to the man in a wheelchair. Actually, he brought some food items for him. The man refuses to eat the food. He tells accountant, "Look, it's still moving forward," as he was describing tires. He asks him to look at the tyre and hands him his binoculars. He sees the tyre moves to the highway from the hotel. A police car comes behind and the tyre stops after seeing the car. It again starts vibrating. Meanwhile, a police officer's head blasts a passenger in the car. The accountant eats the food he brought and his stomach aches. He also dies. It was clear the food was poisonous. The man in the wheelchair knew the food is poisonous. That's why he hasn't eaten. While moving the tyre comes to a place there were some people. They were burning the old and torn tires. The tyre comes in anger while seeing it and it vibrates. Certainly it happened to them in the same way that it did to others. It means their brain will explode and they will die. The scene after 3 days is shown. Many people were dying. People's bodies were found on the roads and in shopping malls. Those were without heads, which means they die of exploding heads. The police were working hard to find the tyre. They discover the tyre while it was watching TV one day. The officer of the law and the car girl are shown in a van. Actually, they have set a trap to catch the tyre. To remove the tyre from the room, a dummy is placed outside. Inside was a speaker and a bomb. There was the voice of a car girl on the speaker. She was speaking while sitting in the car to bring the tyre out. After some time, it comes out. Meanwhile, the man in the wheelchair also comes. He asks the officer, "Can't you catch a tyre? Can't you complete this simple task?" When the tyre hears what the man is saying, it moves back into the room. Now the police officer comes in anger. He goes into the room with his gun. The burst tyre was also in his hand when he emerged. It indicates that the bullet was used to finish the tyre by the police officer. He throws the tyre near the wheelchair man and leaves. After some time, a cycle comes out from the room and the wheelchair man says, "Look, it is not dead yet. It is still alive in another thing." Meanwhile, the bike vibrates and the man in the wheelchair completely blasts. With it, we can assume that the cycle has significantly more power than the tyre. The cycle moves to the highway from there. After it, the cycle means the tyre makes its army. It was bringing the dead tires from the road's edge to life. It was bestowing such powers on them. While doing this, it makes an army of tires. It reached New York City. We'll discover out where the tyre got its power. It means how is it killing the people? Here we discover the name of the tyre. Its name was Robert. Many years ago, the police officer and the accountant murdered a man. They pressed a tyre against his neck. The man's name was Robert. It's the reason the man's soul enters the tyre. He exacted his revenge. It will now kill all of the citizens. And with this scene, movie ends here. Thank you for your time. Let us know how you liked this video in the comments.